pranksters.
G's up, ho. You know how we do this. I'm the kind of brother who been doing it my way, getting my way for years in my career. And every lover, y'all, in and out my life, I hear love and left in tears without a care. Until I met this girl, turning tables around. She caught me by surprise at night. I thought I'd be the one breaking down. I can't figure it out why I'm so caught up. Got me feeling it. Caught up. I don't know what it is, but she's got me twisted. I'm so caught up. Got me feeling it. Caught up. I'm losing control. This girl's got a hold on me. Yeah. Oh, now let me go, baby. Now listen, my mama told me, be careful who you do, 'cause karma comes back around. Same old song, nah. But I was so sure that it wouldn't happen to me, 'cause I know how to put it down. But I was so